The following program is sponsored by the Building Wisconsin Television Network.
Welcome to Building Wisconsin. I'm Stuart Keith, and on today's show, well, we're learning more about a major affordable housing renovation project on the Red Cliff Reservation here in northern Wisconsin. So let's get started with our project manager, Mark Klon. Okay, Mark, you know, we're walking around this cul-de-sac. To me, it looks like you're working about 8 or 10 of these homes.
Yeah, we are, Stu. In this section right here, this is Red Cliff Indian Reservation, and this section right here is called the Old Housing section. It's one of the subdivisions they have on the reservation.
And you know, this is a project that's quite large in magnitude, and to get a feel for the scope, I think it's good to begin with the history of these homes.
Okay, well, these particular houses in this section right here, this was built in 1967. So this is some of the earliest HUD Section 8 housing ever built in the state of Wisconsin.
And you think of the construction standards back then were nearly as good as they are today, especially from an energy efficiency standpoint. I look behind you, that house is showing signs of wear and tear, obviously in need of repair, but that's almost 50 years old. I mean, it's lived a good long life.
Yeah, you're correct, Stu. That house was built in 67 with very little done, just keeping it going. There hasn't been any renovations, any major renovations done to that house since it's been built in 67. And it's gone through families after family after family. It's all family housing. So these are all 3-bedroom units here.
And I mentioned energy efficiency or lack thereof. When you're tearing it apart, are you finding any insulation in the walls?
Oh, very little. What's there is usually dropped or pretty thin, and we're tearing into a lot of walls because of the damage to the drywall, the mold that we're finding in these houses. So we're remediating a lot of stuff as we're doing the construction in here.
And you think of this is in the far northern tip of Wisconsin. You think about the cold, brutal winters, especially here on Lake Superior. No insulation in the walls, very little in the attic. I mean, this is great what's being done here. And we've covered several of your projects around the state, and a lot of those, if not all of them, involve federal tax credits. Is this similar?
This is a tax credit that Red Cliff Indian Reservation was lucky enough to get. It's very hard to get one of those. They did get it, so we are doing this is federally funded, state approved funding given out to this particular project.
And what exactly is being done as I look around here?
It's very major rehab. Everything is being done. Everything from the roofs to the siding to the windows to the complete gutting to the inside. So it's so major that we have to do these without the tenants living in the building.
Oh boy, so you have to displace them, but you think about the end result, how it's going to really raise the quality of life. Now, we're talking about the different buildings. You can see the different stages of construction. What about the roads we're standing on and different community aspects? Are you working on those as well?
Yes, with the reservation we are working on. So they're getting new drives, they're getting new garages. The reservation will come back and repair the roads. They're doing a lot of landscaping, so these will all be landscaped when they're done also. So they'll be very attractive, high energy efficient homes. Now, when we finish these two, we are doing blower tests on these houses, so we're proving that these houses, the efficiency has improved anywhere up to 65 to 70% on certain houses.
Wow, well that's good for everybody, not just the tenants here, but the state of Wisconsin as a whole. I'm anxious to get inside, look at some of them, see some of your guys in action. Is it possible to do that?
Yeah, let's go look, Stu.
Boy, Mark, as we approach this home, you look at the deterioration, the state that it's in. You haven't actually started the demolition process here. This is what the people were living in.
Yeah, a lot of the soffit, a lot of the fascia has been damaged on these, and a lot of other parts of the buildings have also damage on here already.
I mean, look at that. I mean, talk about energy inefficient. How much it was costing per month to live here must have been outrageous. Because again, there's no thought of energy efficiency when these were built.
Oh yeah, it was terrible for them. And not only the outside being damaged like this, you'll see a lot of that throughout the building. Inefficient furnaces, inefficient windows. You'll see that when we get inside there.
And you look at the siding, it's old. Is this a gas line right here?
That's a gas line. They had a gas line running outside the building, and so we're rerouting the gas lines here.
And imagine that. I mean, kids could come up. I just know how kids are. They could be bouncing on that.
Yeah,
that's extremely dangerous.
I'm sure they were. So that's running the gas into the building for their stove, for their furnace, and it's coming right across, right under their doorway, right inside the unit.
Now you're taking care of that and changing that.
Yep, all being rerouted inside the building.
Now one thing I do notice is new concrete. Is this part of your improvements?
This has all been replaced now, so it's all new concrete. You'll see it running down to the new slab for their garage. We're going to get a brand new 2-car garage because they've had an old one that was all falling down, I mean really falling down. So they've all been demolished and now new ones are going up.
Okay, so obviously looking at the outside of the structure, it's in dire need of repair. Let's head inside and see what the condition is there.
All right, let's go take a look, Stu. All right, Stu, this is a typical kitchen in this particular building. This is a 3-bedroom unit with very small kitchen.
Sure, and we're in the lower level here. So you have the kitchen, you have a little room off to the side. Upstairs, when I peeked up there, it looked like 3 bedrooms.
Yes, the whole unit, for 3 bedrooms, small kitchen, everything, is only 1,100 square feet.
And you can see original cabinetry. It looks surprisingly good, even though you can see it showing signs of wear. But this is 50, 55 years old.
Yeah, it's held up pretty well for that age, and not because the tenant probably kept it up, but you'll see a lot worse in the other buildings we're working in, and you'll see if you actually open up somebody's drawers and somebody's doors, they are starting to delaminate.
Oh yeah, and take a look at down at the bottom.
You see how they've been glued and re-glued again to try to keep them in the condition that they're in right now. So it's a lot of maintenance constantly on these cabinets.
And you know, we've done so many of the different projects around the state. Again, your primary goal to me seems to be maximum energy efficiency.
It is, and we have to. When you get a tax credit, these units have to be energy efficient when they're done. They have to be Energy Star rated, so they're going to be very, very tight for the tenant.
And to me, that's a good thing, though, because with the high cost of heating these homes, especially when there's no insulation in the wall, through our brutal winters that we've been having, it can't take too many years, once you're done, to pay for the reconstruction. I mean, you're saving hundreds of dollars a month in the winter by doing what you're doing.
It's got to be a huge payback, Stu. With better appliances, better furnaces, better windows, the building will be a lot tighter. They can afford to live here, and that's what you want. You want to be able to make sure they can afford to live in this house.
And, you know, I look around here, and what's back here? Oh, I thought this was a pantry. Here, it's the furnace, old furnace, you mentioned it. What about the water heater? I mean, that just looks old.
Both are being replaced, Stu. They're going to be replaced with energy-efficient models.
And we keep hitting on energy efficiency, but to me, safety is even more important than that. And these don't look very safe in the condition they're in right now.
Oh yeah, they'll all be vented outside now. They'll be a lot safer for them. Plus all the ducts will be clean while we're opening up these furnaces. So we're going to clean all the duct work in here.
And so they're not going to have to worry. It's essentially going to be a brand new unit. And to me, we're talking not only about energy efficiency and safety, but quality of life. And I always like to look at that if you raise the quality of life in one home, it's eventually going to raise the quality of life in the whole community.
Right? And that's what you want. If you show that you care when you're doing something, the owners show that they care, most of the time the tenants are going to care and they're going to keep the building up the way they should.
Okay, well this is great. I'm anxious to see the guys in action doing some demolition and reconstruction. Can we do it?
Yeah, let's go take a look, Stu.
There is no better feeling than having a place you can call home. And at Cardinal Capital Management, we believe everyone should know how that feels. We believe when a home is safe and supportive, it helps form the foundation of our communities. At Cardinal Capital Management, we protect and preserve affordable housing for low and moderate income households and provide a place for many to call home. We provide supportive housing throughout Wisconsin, Iowa, and Arizona. And over the past few years, our preservation projects have been recognized for innovation, design, and beautification. Our award-winning properties include the United House, Veterans Manor, Highland Commons, Empowerment Village Lincoln, Empowerment Village National, and Water Tower View Apartments, just to name a few. But more important than any awards are the smiles we see every day when our residents have a place to call home. Cardinal Capital Management, delivering financial and social value.
Wow, Mark, what a dramatic change. This is looking awesome. I just love seeing the transformation of these old homes.
Yeah, this one's coming on very nicely. All of them are running at a very nice pace.
And as I look at it, I notice attention to detail from the get-go, starting with the house wrap. Neatly taped, and that's very important. And the house wrap's important, of course, for energy efficiency.
It is, and these guys know what they're doing. So it's being inspected, it's being watched, and everything is done very tightly on here.
High quality products here. Looks like LP Smart Side, very durable, long lasting.
High quality, but it's also durable. So we're looking for a very, very durable product. Again, we want everything to last on these houses for the next 50 years. We don't have to go back and replace all this.
Sure, so instead of going with a cheap vinyl that might get 8 or 10 years out of it, you're thinking 40, 50 years down the road, you're trying to minimize the ongoing maintenance.
That's what we're doing, Stu. And you know, everything on this house is being replaced. We're replacing the roof, we're replacing the soffit, the fascia, the siding. Then later on when we're done with all this, it'll come back and get all new gutters on here too.
And again, just in my line of work, I like to look at the craftsmen doing the work. The attention to detail is awesome as I look at these. Who are the individuals that are building these?
It's a very good thing that you brought up, Stu, because what we're doing here is we're hiring 85% of our workforce is coming from the reservation. These are guys that are skilled laborers that we're bringing in. So 85% of our workforce are tribal members that are working in their own backyard.
There's got to be a great sense of pride being able to work in your own backyard and raise the quality of life in your community.
Oh, I think everybody loves it. The whole reservation is so proud of that too, that they got their workers or guys that have been sitting around looking for work back to work again and helping the reservation last.
Well, at first glance, they're doing a great job. Let's go inside and see what's happening there.
All right, let's take a look, Stu.
Oh, look at this. This is the demolition phase. Looks like you're tearing out everything that's old and getting behind the walls.
Yep, we're tearing out all out, Stu, so now we can get the plumber and the electrician has access to get into these walls and replace all the drain pipes, the supply lines, and any kind of electrical lines you want to bring in there. Because we are replacing a lot of outlets in here too, so.
So all the new electrical, all new boxes, GFIs?
Yes, all that being replaced. Some are being lifted up where they need to be to make universal design, and some of them are just being left alone or just replaced.
And universal design, again, what does that term mean?
Extra amenities we're bringing into the property to add for accessibility. So if they get somebody visiting them that's in a wheelchair or disabled, that they can actually use some of the things in houses. So as we bring the outlets up and the switches lower, they have access to them.
Again, raising the quality of life for everyone that lives here or visits here. I really like that. And back here, I see that there's the furnace, the water heater. That's all going to be replaced.
That's all going to be replaced.
And when we walked in, I noticed a new stud wall. What was going on here?
Yeah, we are actually extending the space of the kitchen. So we're making the kitchen a little bit wider, giving more cabinet space.
And over there, is that the new insulation going in the exterior
Yep, that's
walls?
all R15 insulation all being added into all the walls, all the exterior walls.
Wow, and over there, did you take out an entire wall?
Yeah, we opened that up, Stu, with the new header. So there used to be the storage, now that's opened up so we can extend it from the living room and make it bigger. We're giving it more square footage.
So really, this isn't just cosmetic. You're making a much more enjoyable, comfortable living environment for the occupants.
Oh yeah, it's needed. I mean, you got 3 bedrooms in here and 1 bathroom. So you have a lot of people living in this house. They need space to be able to live and move.
Now you mentioned this is a duplex. Can we go in next door and see what stage that's
Let's
at?
take a look. You're a little bit farther along on that one, Stu. So you'll notice here in the mudrooms how the changes we made in here too. As before, on the other units we were in, We had the laundry equipment, mostly the washer in the kitchen. It is now in the mudroom. So we moved everything and replumbed it to be in here so to give them more room in their kitchen.
Boy, nice. And I noticed you added a closet as well.
We added a closet too, so now they got a coat closet, which they didn't have before.
Again, what I really like to see here is you're turning a house into a home. It's all these little attention to detail items.
Yeah, it's important. And we had an architect that worked with us on here.
Wow, is this going to be the new kitchen?
This is going to be the kitchen.
This is a lot bigger.
Much nicer than it was before. So you'll have your refrigerator here, your stove on this side. You'll have much more cabinetry in here, which is much more suited for a 3-bedroom apartment.
And then over here looks like a nice living area. And again, as I walk in, with the new drywall, the fresh paint, it just gives a nice feeling. So much nicer than what was here before.
Oh yeah, doesn't it look nice too? When you see before what you got now, it looks like a new house. So that's what it should look like.
I mean, look at how nice, again, the craftsmanship. You don't see any tape lines on the wall. It's professionally painted, a nice orange peel finish on it. And over here, here's a good example of a energy efficient, perfectly installed window. I like to see the foam around it, no draftiness. Operates nice and smoothly.
Properly installed. It's very important that the window is properly installed, that it is. That's a very high-end window we're using here. Energy efficient, Energy Star window, double hung window, easy for them to get up and down, easy for them to clean.
And of course, we keep hitting on energy efficiency because again, and we can't stress it enough, the long-term maintenance, the long-term cost of living here, a monthly cost of heating and cooling, windows play a big role in that.
Yep, 2 important things on all these projects is energy efficiency and durability, and we're going after both with these windows.
Boy, I bet they're gonna look nice when they're totally done.
Yeah, we have one that's completely finished. I would love to show it to you, Stu.
Let's go take a look.
Building Wisconsin is made possible by the members of Plumbers 75, proudly serving their contractors and helping build Wisconsin for over 100 years.
We all know the most basic form of life requires clean water to survive. On Earth, we need it to drink, cook, clean, and it touches just about every part of our quality of life. Here in Wisconsin, we appreciate the value of clean water even more as we live alongside the Great Lakes. Yet we often forget to think about how water gets to our homes, schools, and businesses, and then safely back to Mother Nature. Where does all the dirty water go? How is it fresh and clean every time we get a glass of water? Who makes this happen? The answer, plumbers. It's the plumbers who are trained, mentored on the job, and have progressed through a 5-year education program that takes them from apprenticeship to a master of their trade. It's plumbers who are committed to a career and have been trained to protect the health and safety of our water system and make sure you never have to think about where it comes from and where it's going. Yes, we're fortunate here in Wisconsin to have an abundant supply of clean, fresh water. But even more fortunate to have a highly trained and committed workforce to keep and deliver it that way.
Plumbers 75, supporting the plumbing trade in southeast Wisconsin for over 100 years. In 1975, Alpine Plumbing began as a 2-man shop in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Since that time, Alpine has grown into a full-service plumbing company with over 90 employees. Their project managers and highly skilled plumbers are experienced in the construction, remodel, and repair of residential, commercial, retail, industrial, and institutional structures. You've probably seen their work at such places as the Modern, Milwaukee School of Engineering, one at the North End, and residential homes throughout southeast Wisconsin. Alpine Plumbing and Plumbers 75, proud to be building Wisconsin. For more information on Building Wisconsin, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and be sure to watch additional episodes on YouTube or at our website, buildingwisconsintv.com.
Oh, this is nice. And you know, at the last home we were at, we were talking about how you're going to finish off the windows. These do look really nice.
Yeah, great improvements too. You know, you got a nice wood finish now returned, wood finish sill, and wood finish casing, and that's great.
And that's just one of the attention to detail items we were talking about. But when I look around, this is beautiful flooring, looks to be very durable, long lasting, and then the kitchen. That is an incredible sight to see compared to what was there before.
Yep, flooring, Stu, is all LVT all the way through, so a nice vinyl luxury tile in there that we got in there. It's going to be long lasting. It'd be easy for them to replace the tile in the future for maintenance. So cabinets are nice oak cabinets all the way around, plastic laminate countertops. Nothing extravagant, but all very, very durable products. Something made to last and last and last in this housing.
And again, it's the little things. I think back to that first home we were in, the old 1960s laminate. This is just so nice. I mean, that's solid oak.
Solid oak,
cabinetry.
Yep. Drawers are all going to last them. We're going to be able to take 100 pounds of pressure, dovetail joints, all nice half-inch lumber all the way through.
And a gas stove, very energy efficient, and the dishwasher and refrigerator, all Energy Star?
Yep, all Energy Star equipment. It's mandated to be in here, and we have it in there. Energy Star air conditioning, so everything is done all up to what it should be for an Energy Star apartment.
What about safety? We talked about safety earlier in the show. Hardwired carbon monoxide and
correct, all the way through. That was made sure right from the beginning before we finish up the drywall, everything was hardwired, so you don't have to worry about batteries or anything. It's nice and safe for the tenant.
Okay, and then finally, what about the bathrooms? They're kind of small as I look behind you, but were you able to improve those?
Yeah, in this one, there's a half bath and a full bath suite. Everything was all new. Again, all new flooring, all new drywall, all new lighting, new vanities, new sinks, all new plumbing fixtures, new tub, a one-piece modular tub, new toilets, all the way through.
Well, you know, Mark, when you think back earlier in the show, the first house we were at and what the tenants were living in, to this is spectacular, something somebody can be proud of, and we talk about raising the quality of life. Seeing's believing, and it's been enjoyable learning more about this massive project up here at Red Cliff.
Well, it's been a pleasure, Stu.
Well, Chris, throughout today's show, we've had the opportunity to follow along this major renovation up here at the Red Cliff Reservation. And I've been fascinated by the quality of construction and just seeing the transformation of some of the homes that were there from the 1960s to what you were able to turn them into now. And I wanted to talk to you about what this major renovation project means, not only to the residents of those homes, but to the community.
Just the tremendous impact it has brought to our community, not only economically, but just really in our terms would be spiritually, okay, and how it connects back to home and what we're providing.
Sure. You know, we talked throughout today's show about raising the quality of life in one home can really help raise it in the community as a whole.
Definitely, you know, by just raising the self-morale of a family raises the community's morale, gets some self-pride back into their...
Pride is a key word, and not only in the family unit, but the workers, the craftsmen doing it. As Mark was mentioning, a lot of those, upwards of 80%, are from the local people themselves.
Oh, definitely. Right from the get-go, we maintain our obligation as tribal people to provide tribal employment to our membership. On the current project here, the rehab project that we got currently going, I want to say, like you mentioned, about 80%, 80 to 85%. These are from apprentice all the way up to journeyman, all the way up to the expertise.
These are skills for a lifetime. So what a great learning opportunity
Yes.
to be building the community that you live in and then being able to take those skills and move on in your life.
Yes, not only the person that's currently working within the project, but also their family. There's not enough that could be said about our partnership with Cardinal Capital. Just tremendous general contractors to be working on this project with. Also, Dahl Construction and all the men they've employed, tribal people on all these subcontracts. So it's just a great thing for us.
It must have been pretty incredible looking at the demolition of some of these existing homes. There is virtually no insulation in them. And we're on the northernmost tip of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And even today in mid-fall, it's cold out. I mean, just with Lake Superior here.
Yep.
How could they manage? I mean, that must have been very stressful. They got to be elated that they're going to live in a quality built structure.
Tremendously, you know, just referring back to just last winter and the wind that I can imagine that are coming through them units prior to being rehabbed. It's I can't imagine those just those heating bills.
Yeah.
You know.
And so now it's going to be much more affordable to live in those. Mm-hmm. It's going to help the quality of life, the family unit, and the community as a whole.
Oh, it's a win-win for everyone, for our community, for the state of Wisconsin. There's not enough that can be said about the tax credit program itself.
And that's a federally funded program.
That's correct. And just the impact it has within our community as well as the state of Wisconsin.
Well, Chris, it's been great. I appreciate you allowing us to come through, follow along with it, and best of luck in the future. I think you're headed in the right direction.
I thank you, Stu.
Well, when I see one of our projects completed, what makes me proudest is that we have significantly improved the quality of life of the people that live there. That's the single most important thing we're doing. When we do that, there's some of those people that I am particularly glad we've done that for, and those are the kids, and those are people with significant disabilities for whom this housing is their only choice. I think we've sent a message to everybody there that they don't have to accept the status quo, that they can move to a better place in their lives. It is empowering for people who simply live in a place they didn't think was well cared for to see a whole bunch of people, including the contractors and the plumbers and the electricians and everybody coming through, improving their lives. I've had people turn to me and say, it was like Christmas every day. My kitchen was redone. My bathroom was redone. That attitude of caring translates into people getting a much more positive sense of who they are, and I think learning to take a much more positive attitude towards their community and all those that are around them.
The preceding program was sponsored by the Build in Wisconsin Television Network.